I'm Johnny Price, and this is another of our Talking Head film analyses, where we are not so much concerned with how good a movie might be, as we are with the ideas that come out of the movie. If you have ever wondered if director Martin Scorsese loves movies, or if you've ever had any doubt as to whether he himself is a master filmmaker, then all you have to do is go to see his latest release, HUGO, and everything will be cleared up. It stars Ben Kingsley, along with two marvelous young actors, Asa Butterfield and Chloe Moretz. Also, Sacha Baron Cohen, for some reason, with Emily Mortimer and Christopher Lee. And I've seen it twice. The first time I saw it was in 2D, and then I saw it again in 3D. Not being a fan of 3D, because I see it more as distracting and a gimmick, but if Martin Scorsese was going to utilize 3D, then I wanted to see what it was that he was going to do with it. The film offers multiple themes. There's plenty to talk about. Some major themes, obviously, some minor themes. But overall, what you can look for is a delightfully engaging story, 3 simultaneously budding romances, and a lesson in the history of movies, and perhaps a better understanding of why we have had such a love affair with movies ever since they first came out on hand-cranked projectors. The story takes place in Paris in 1930, or the 1930s. And Hugo is a young orphan who, for reasons that I will not tell you, is living in the towers of the clocks in a Paris train station. And he keeps those clocks wound because failure to do so might reveal that he's there and that he's an orphan, and he would be immediately sent to an orphanage. And here Scorsese gives us a touch of Dickensian storytelling. So, Hugo, living in the clock towers, slips out from time to time, no pun intended, in order to steal food from vendors in the station, and also to find, or steal if he can, various small wheels, cogs, winding keys, little parts for little machines. And all of this is at the heart of the story, which I'm not going to tell you what it is. But one day, he is caught trying to steal from a man who runs a toy booth. He's a vendor there in the station, and this gentleman turns out to be, and this is one of the facts that I have to let you in on, he turns out to be a true life genius pioneer in the early days of filmmaking. But I'm not going to tell you which one. This filmmaker, after making hundreds of films, saw his career, for reasons out of his control, come to ruins. And when we first meet him, we see his deep disappointment has turned to bitterness and has set within him a streak of cruelty. At one point in the film, Hugo's drunken uncle says, "Time is everything." Well, time is not everything, but it's a big thing. If we allow the disappointments and failures in our past to be suppressed and not recognize them and embrace them as part of our story, which they are, then we live in the present in denial, short-circuiting the potential that we have for whoever we might become in the future. And that is exactly what's happening to this former filmmaker, which sets us up to rush to the heart of the story, since YouTube only allows me 10 minutes. And the heart of the story can be summed up in a couple of observations that Hugo makes. First of all, he says, everything has a purpose, even me. If you lose your purpose, it's like you're broken. And then he says, I would imagine the whole world was one big machine. Machines never come with any extra parts, you know. They always come with the exact amount they need. So I figured, if the entire world was one big machine, I couldn't be an extra part. I had to be here for some reason. And that means you have to be here for some reason too. And here he hits the nail on the head. Every machine has a machine maker. Every clock has a clock maker. And they throw in no extra parts. The world is the same way. The Apostle Paul, as it is recorded in the New Testament, when he is having a discussion with the intelligentsia up in Athens, says, God made the world and everything in it. He made every nation of men that they should inhabit the whole earth. And he determined the times set for them and the exact places where they should live. And all of this for a purpose. Incidentally, Martin Scorsese uses 3D masterfully. It is never a distraction, and it gives the film a sense of space, especially up in the clock towers, with all the staircases, wheels, cogs, springs, and pendulums. Hugo is a must-see film. I'm Johnny Price, and once again, this was a Talking Head Film Analysis.